Now we're going to have some fun with our Raspberry Pi camera module, and we're going to look at a series of effects. These are special effects that you can programmatically do with your camera, and we'll see how in Python we can have some flexibility in the way that we take and process images with the Raspberry Pi camera module. So if you go into the effects folder, what we want to do, let's open all of these up at once, and that way we could run through them and talk through them in the Python IDE. So you can select, left click, drag and drop, and select all those files, and we're going to right click and open it up in the simple Python IDE. Once these are open, we're going to execute them one by one. So the first script is adjust_brightness.py, and this simply shows that you can tweak the brightness variable on our camera object by here setting camera.brightness equal to 70, and this affects how bright the image is. Again, this code is the same that we've seen before. It's just that the only thing in this example is we're tweaking that brightness property on our Pi camera object. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. It's going to first sleep for 5 seconds, take and store the image, and we're going to call it bright.jpg. So let's go ahead and run this. And it's going to pause for 5 seconds. Image was taken, and let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to open up another file explorer here, and let's go into downloads, photos, and there's our bright.jpg file. So notice if you look at some of the previous images that we have taken, let's go ahead and click on image 0. It's a little darker. Here we have tweaked the brightness, and you can see it's a little faded out. So you can use that brightness variable to manipulate the brightness of your photo and so on, given certain lighting conditions. So that's some flexibility that you are afforded there. The next script we're going to run is the adjust brightness loop. We're going to go from 1 to 100, and as we increment that loop, we're going to add an annotation text to our image. You'll see that this is the way that we can add some text to our image. We're going to see brightness and then 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 99 at the end of our loop. And we're going to just sleep for 1/10 of a second in between there. As we go through camera.brightness, we're going to set that brightness property first to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 99. So what you're going to see is the photo is going to be very dark initially, and then it's going to get gradually brighter over time. So let's take a look at this in action. So I'm going to click on the green arrow here to get things going, to execute our script. And you should see the image is very dark, and it should be getting brighter and brighter and brighter all the way up to full brightness at 99, and then our script should complete. So there you go. Hopefully you saw that run. So that's pretty cool. We're tweaking the brightness in the loop, and this is just to illustrate how you can go from that brightness property from 0 to 99 up to 100 to change the brightness of an image that you're taking programmatically with your Raspberry Pi camera module. Next up, we're going to look at the Annotate.py script, and in here we are demonstrating, actually we just saw this, how we can annotate an image and put some text on it. The only change that we make from the traditional programs with taking an image is that we have camera.annotate_text equal to, and here we can put in whatever text that we want to write on our image. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this. This is going to sleep for 5 seconds and then take the image, and it should superimpose that text on it for us. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the green arrow, and it should take our script, run it, execute it, just took the image, and let's go ahead and check that image out. So we saved it to image.jpg, that file, and I'm going to go in here, let's double click on image.jpg. Alright, so there we go. So at the top you see I love Raspberry Pi. So that's the text, and you can put in any text that you want in there, and it saves it to the image. So that is a very cool and handy feature that we can use if we want to annotate, maybe put a timestamp, for example, when we took an image, a date timestamp, or if we want to stagger images and have some other sort of information written on them. That is a useful feature to be able to annotate images. So let's continue on to change resolution. Here you are able to specify the size of the image. So we're doing a camera.resolution. Here we're making it 2592 pixels wide by 1944 pixels high. And we can also tweak the frame rate here of the camera and how fast that frame rate is. We set it to 15. Also, in addition to doing the preview, we are going to save an image at the max resolution. So from the video perspective, we are changing the frame rate to 15 and we're going to preview that, seeing the frame rate at the video that's taken from the camera. And then based on our resolution setting, we're also going to save an image at max resolution. In fact, those are the properties that would give you the max resolution for an image that you can take with the Raspberry Pi camera module. So that would be our code. Let's go ahead and run the script. I'm going to click on the green arrow. So we should see the camera turn on. The frame rate has been altered. Remember, we set it to 15. Then we're going to take that image, and once that's done, let's check out that max_resolution image that was created for us. I'm going to double click on it here. And we're going to open it up. So as you can see, it is very, very large, very high resolution compared to the other images that we took. And that's pretty awesome that you can get that quality of detail of an image from the Raspberry Pi camera module. The last one is the effects_loop, and this simply applies certain effects to the images. So let's do a quick code review on this. Essentially, we are looping over the camera.imageEffects collection that is provided for us, and there are different types of effects that we can apply to images. And for effect in camera.imageEffects, we first grab out the first value in that list and we set camera.image_effect equal to the effect that we extracted from that list that's available to us. Then we annotate text, putting the name of the effect of the particular image. We keep that up for 5 seconds and then we loop through all the effects. So this will be interesting because you get a feel for what is available from the Raspberry Pi camera module and what the effects library affords us. So let's go ahead and run this and check it out and see what we get. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the green arrow here. And as you can see, the first effect is called emboss. Then there's another cool effect here that's showing up. This is the sketch one. Then there's posterize. As you can see, every 5 seconds we're sort of going through a different type of effect. So you can get some really cool effects showing up here. Color swap, we're actually right now. So remember, we're annotating the image at the top with the name of the effect as we iterate over the image effects collection. So there's quite a few of them, and let's kind of let this run through. Here's a pastel and saturation. Let's see what else we got. So you can be pretty creative and create some cool looking images with the Raspberry Pi camera module, and it's really awesome that the Pi camera library allows us to do this. So this is no effect, basically effect none. Then here's a cartoon one, which is kind of cool that we have there. Here's a negative, and of course it takes out, you know, some of those brighter colors. Here's another effect, the noise, and let's see what other items are available to us. So there's an oil paint, film, and there are quite a few that are available, and you can use these depending on your application and the types of images that you want to provide for your projects, and create some cool looking backgrounds, cool effects. Here's a blur, the D interface too, and let's see what else is there for us. Oh, this is kind of cool. So again, in this program, we're just looping through. It has finished. We loop through all the effects that are available to us. And this is really awesome, and it's amazing that you can do this with the Raspberry Pi camera module. Hope you enjoyed these samples, and you can now incorporate them into your own Raspberry Pi projects.